Thank you for tuning into The List. I am Lani Stern with the Lani Stern team at Sotheby's International Realty Canada. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about staging. And to do so, I'm going to take you through the first property that I ever bought here at Bathurst and St Clair that I've now since sold quite recently. So, what is staging? This is the first of 5 major questions that I'm asked whenever preparing a property for market. I guess the answer here is that staging is the art of preparing your property for market. The second question then is, why do we stage? And it's really twofold. I think the first thing to understand is that we don't showcase a property the way that we live in it. The expectation isn't that you're going to have all of your items put away, tucked away, and also just understanding that what the goal of staging is that we're trying to showcase the property and not really our stuff. So the second item there is the mindset. So today, obviously, understand that properties are very expensive. If the goal is to get somebody to pay you top dollar, then it's my task to set forward and understand the mindset of this person who's going to be coming through, which means that anybody who's going to be looking at something that they need to put in or they feel like this property doesn't quite have, they're going to start deducting from their purchase price in an effort to try and take the property price to what they think it should be in order to reflect their values and their goals when going into this property. So therefore, the goal of staging, which is our third item here, is identifying that target demographic. Now, this is really something that I think I excel at. Um, Identifying the buyer for this property I thought was going to be either a young professional or perhaps a downsizer, but really didn't feel that would be the case here as the building doesn't typically appeal to that crowd. So here at Bathurst and St Clair, we've got a lot of young professionals, and that was in fact who my purchaser was. This was a dental, a young dentist that has purchased a property, and they knew exactly what they were looking for. So we're going to highlight things like lifestyle in your property. That might mean a space that you can showcase somebody that's got uh, a great space for a baby or an office. Maybe you've got an excellent wine cellar. So things of that nature where we're going to really highlight lifestyle, understanding price point, who's going to be looking at that location, specifically speaking towards neighborhood or a building, and then really just some of those expenses that this person's going to be expecting to incur and understanding, a building that's older that might have higher maintenance fees might appeal to an older demographic, for example. So just trying to understand, is this an investor? Is it an end user? This is who we're trying to appeal to. The major item that I ask of my clients is a time investment. And I do everything that I can to try and mitigate that. But that's really the question, is understanding what the time investment is. I'd say to you that you're investing time in staging and really truly decluttering. Things like countertops, putting away large major items that take away from the feeling of there being larger open space. Decluttering closets, as a rule of thumb, I'm telling clients to put in 2/3 full, for example. Um, that's really part of the idea here, storage spaces and tidying stuff so that we're able to showcase the property as feeling like there is excess room for somebody to come in and put all of their stuff, but it always remains neat and tidy looking so that somebody's able to look past the stuff in the property and really look at the property itself because that's what they're here to buy. Obviously, that element of time is a challenge, and so speaking to how we're mitigating some of the burden is is by bringing in teams of people that help with decluttering, removing stuff from, your property, helping to organize, helping to go through, if it's putting things into either a storage space. And that can also, play into as well if we're talking about, for example, my property, which when it wasn't being showcased, and I had a tenant in here afterward, but when it wasn't showcased, this had a large L couch that would have been twice the size. The dining table used to seat 8 and it was rectangular, which made it harder to walk around versus this oval that's shown in place with a 6-person seating. So really just understanding what's going to allow the space to feel open, airy, brighter, cleaner, etc. So the cost associated with this would be our last item. And I'd say to you that there's true value in this, but let's give it a range, and it obviously can be outside of this, but it might be as low as 2,500 a month, as high as perhaps 8,000 or even greater, depending on your space. And so it's going to be done on a price per square foot, although in a house that doesn't necessarily translate. So think about things like we were saying, if there's a baby's room or there's a child's play space, for example, or maybe it's a larger home. A lot of my clients have houses where they've got an eat-in kitchen as well as a formal dining room. You might have a formal living room as well as a family room. Maybe there's a sunroom or extra space, that you're able to have another sort of hangout and breakaway spaces. These are all places that we're going to highlight, even things like bathrooms, primary bedrooms, etc. So that's how really pricing is done. And so outside of cost, the reason why I tend to try and push this is really because right now it's sort of become a bit of an expectation in the marketplace. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody does it well, but it is the standard. And then the other item really is that rather than going to people with a price adjustment and saying that, hey, we've been on the market for, throw a number, a month, for example, and feel as though the market hasn't reacted to our price, maybe what we looked at doing instead was having this, $12,000 investment of painting the space, preparing it, bringing in different furniture, showcasing it as its best self, so that we're able to appeal to that potential buyer the first time they're walking in the property. So why don't I do a bit of a walkthrough and show you some of the items that we tried, walking through and achieving here in what was my first purchase property. So we are in the main living space here. You can see that it's being shown with a smaller couch. That's probably about a 2.5-person couch. We've elevated, I'd say, the balcony by showing it, being made up and with plants on there. We spoke a little bit about the dining space that was in here. Also just sort of speaking to the kitchen, I told you a little bit about painting, but again, this is really understanding part of the demographic and who it is that we're trying to appeal to. This building is coming up on 10 years. I believe it's 8 years or so now. And so this kitchen, when I had it and I lived here, was a really deep, dark brown, which just isn't really on vogue right now. And so what I had done was taken this cabinetry, sent it off-site to be properly taken care of, and sprayed. All the handles were removed. I mean, this was done professionally and properly at a price that would be far, far less than what someone would spend to put in a new kitchen. And that's also including the curio cabinets and extra storage space there too. So by doing that, I think we're highlighting not only that this is a unique space that was converted from originally 2 bedrooms, where the dining table used to be, in all of the other O2 units in the building, but really highlighting the beautiful open space and brightening it, which is, I think, what people are really looking for, especially a demographic that's working from home, which is a great segue into the front den, which we've got here, the front entrance to the property. Here's the second bathroom. It's a full bath, because all of the others, as I stated, are actually bedrooms. And here, what we've really done is we've highlighted the ability to have a great work from home space. And that's really what this is all about and trying to showcase that. I think it's really very simple to imagine plug and play. You know, you come, you bring your laptop, and this becomes your workspace quite easily. You know, we've kept things really simple, minimalist, the entryway, the front space here at the front hall, you know, keeping it very clean, very minimal, showing how bright and beautiful the space is. Obviously, it's a lot easier because I'm not living here, which allows me to keep things like the, storage space and all of that, very, very clean. But that's not to say that it can't be done. As I was saying, the expectation with my clients is that I'm asking them to, fill closets to be about 2/3 full. So that's what we're able to achieve here by showing a property that's done and looks the part, is pretty, is clean. So, painted out the whole space, prepared all of it, really, for market. Even while we were here and there was damage to the property, potentially from somebody that, was obviously looking at it for sale. I'm certain it was an accident, but somebody must have pulled on the bar. So I wasn't going to bring in my crew and paint it again. That's fine. I just set it up with a piece of tape there to notify that, and then notified every agent that was showing the property, or myself, obviously, when I was going to be doing that, and taking a property and touring somebody through the space. So, with all of that being said, I hope that you now understand some of the nuances and value to staging a property for sale. I can tell you that myself, the investment that I made in the space was painting the property. That included, as we said, kitchen cabinetry, was the cost of staging. That also, in my specific case, meant bringing in extra lamps and things like that. I brought in new lighting that I thought would elevate the space, would clean it up, would modernize a little bit. And again, the idea is to try and appeal to the masses, because the more people that you're appealing to, the greater interest is, which hopefully then leads to there being competition and price wars, and ultimately, getting somebody who comes in and offers on the property. I was very thankful to be in an excellent situation, and really a lot of this is the legwork that goes into a property that pays off, and something that I really feel that my expertise can be something that you should be leveraging to help you sell your property for top dollar expeditiously. We're very, very hands-on with all of our clients, and specifically when it comes to preparing a property for market. I really feel this is an area that I excel at, and many of my clients continue to thank me for it, as though we've really been able to extract every extra dollar from the property right now, especially when I think that's so important in today's marketplace. Thank you for tuning into the list, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye for now.